Friendship with God. An uncommon dialogue. 17. That is the most hopeful thing I have ever read. It means that all of us, even the worst of us, have a home in your heart, if we will but claim it. And this must be what it means to have a friendship with God. When I began this book, I said I hope to focus on two things: how to turn a conversation with God into a real, working friendship, and how to use that friendship to apply the wisdom of conversations with God in day-to-day life. And now you are learning what I said to you before, that your relationship with God is no different from your relationship with each other. As in your relationships with other humans, you begin with a conversation. If the conversation goes well, you develop a friendship. If the friendship goes well, you experience true oneness. This is what all souls desire with each other. It is what all souls seek with me. The idea behind this book was to show you how to develop that friendship, once you've had the conversation. You've had the conversation in 3 books that preceded this. Now it is time to have a friendship. I am sorry to say that many people, however, will not take the first step in their relationship with me. They find it impossible to believe that I would have a real conversation with them, and so they limit their experience of me to one-way interactions, what most would call prayer. They talk to me, but not with me. Some of those who talk to me have a high level of faith that I am hearing their words. Yet even they do not expect to hear mine. So they look for signs. They say, "God, give me a sign." Yet when I give them a sign in the most common way that they can think of, by using the very language which they speak, they deny me. And I tell you this, some of you will yet deny me. Not only will you deny that this is a sign, you will deny that receiving such a sign is even possible. Yet I tell you this, nothing is impossible in God's world. I have not stopped talking directly with you, and I never will. You may not always hear clearly, or interpret with complete accuracy, what I have to say, but as long as you try, as long as you keep the dialogue open, you give our friendship a chance. And as long as you give God a chance, you will never be alone, never face any important question by yourself, never be without an instant resource in a time of need, and, yes, always have a home in my heart. This is what it means to have a friendship with God. And that friendship is open to everyone. Everyone. Regardless of their beliefs, regardless of their religion. Regardless of their beliefs. Regardless of their religion. Or lack of religion. Or lack of religion. Anybody can have a friendship with God, at any time, is that right? You all do have a friendship with God. Some of you just don't know it. As I have already said. I know that we are repeating ourselves, but I want to make sure, I want to make absolutely certain that I get this right. You just talked about how we don't always interpret everything completely accurately, and this is one thing I want to get as accurately as I can. I want there to be no mistake about this. You are saying that there is no right way to God. That is what I am saying. Exactly, precisely, unequivocally. There are 1,000 paths to God. And every one gets you there. So we can, at last, bring an end to better about God. We can stop saying that ours is the better God. Yes, you can. But will you? That is the question. It will require you to give up your ideas of superiority, and that is the most seductive idea human beings ever had. It has seduced the entire human race. It has justified the wholesale slaughter of members of your own species, and every other species of sentient being on your planet. This one single thought, this one idea that you have, that you are somehow better than someone else, has caused all the heartache, all the suffering, all the cruelty, all the inhumanity that you have inflicted upon each other. You've made this point before. And like many other points I have made with you in this dialogue, I will make it over and over again. This point, in particular, I want to emphasize now, in such stark terms, in such clear and specific language, that you can never forget it. For throughout the ages humans have asked me, what is the way to a more perfect world? How can we live together in harmony? What is the secret to lasting peace? And throughout the ages I have given you the answer. Throughout the ages I have brought you this wisdom, 1,000 times in 1,000 ways. Yet you have not listened. Now I declare it over and over here, in this dialogue, in language so plain that you can never again ignore it, but will understand it completely, and internalize it so deeply, that you will hereafter and forevermore reject any suggestion that one group of you is somehow better than another group of you. Again I say, put an end to better. For this is the new gospel, there is no master race. There is no greatest nation. There is no one true religion. There is no inherently perfect philosophy. There is no always right political party, morally supreme economic system, or one and only way to heaven. Erase these ideas from your memory. Eliminate them from your experience. Eradicate them from your culture. For these are thoughts of division and separation, and you have killed each other over these thoughts. Only the truth I give you here will save you, we are all one. Carry this message far and wide, across oceans and over continents, around the corner and around the world. I will. Wherever I go, and wherever I am, I will say it loud and clear. And with this declaration of the new gospel, dispel forever the second most dangerous idea on which human beings have based their behaviors, the thought that there is something you have to do to survive. There is nothing you have to do. Your survival is guaranteed. It is a fact, not a hope. It is a reality, not a promise. You have always been, are now, and always will be. Life is eternal, love is immortal, and death is only a horizon. I heard that line in the lyrics of a wonderful song recorded by Carly Simon. Have I not told you that I will communicate with you in many ways? An article in a 3-month-old magazine at the hairstyling salon, a chance utterance by a friend, the lyrics to the next song you hear. It is through these kinds of continuing conversations with God that I send you my eternal message: your survival is guaranteed. The question is not whether you will survive, but what shall be your experience while you are surviving. You are answering that question now, in what you call this lifetime, and what you call the next. For what you experience in the next lifetime can only be a reflection of what you have created in this lifetime, because, in truth, there is only one everlasting life, with each moment creating the next. And so we create our own heaven, and our own hell. Yes, now, and even forevermore. Yet once you are clear that your survival is not in question, you can stop worrying about which one of you is better. You don't have to punish yourself forever, scramble to get to the top, or destroy others to ensure that you are one of the fittest. And so, at last, you can get the hell out of there. Literally. Come, then. Join with me now in a deep and abiding friendship. I have given you the steps here. And I have shared with you the attitudes of God, which will change your life. Come then. Get the hell out. Bring the blessing and the joy and the heaven in. For thine is the kingdom and the power and the glory, forever. I would not tell this to you if it were not so. I accept. I accept your invitation to enter into true friendship with God. I will follow the 7 steps. I will adopt the 5 attitudes. And I will never again believe that you have stopped talking to me, or that I can't speak directly to you. Good. And, since we are now close friends, I have a favor to ask of you. Anything. Ask, and you shall receive. Will you explain here how to implement some of the grandest truths in conversations with God? I want everyone to understand how to render that wisdom functional in daily life. What part of the wisdom do you wish to discuss? Let's focus in on some particular portion of the message, and I will tell you how to use it functionally in your moment-to-moment interactions. Good. Now we are getting down to it. Okay, at the end of the Conversations with God trilogy you said that the entire 800-plus page dialogue could be summarized in 3 points. 1. We are all one. 2. There's enough. And 3. There's nothing we have to do. You've kind of circled back to points 1 and 3 here. Just now, when you talked about the end of better, yes. But could you tell me how this would work in everyday life? Also, what about point 2? How do I apply that in everyday living? How do I apply all of these points? Thank you for asking. We are now, indeed, getting down to it. The first message is very easy to apply. Simply move through your life as if everyone, and indeed, everything, is an extension of you. Treat all other people as if they were part of you. Treat all other things the same way. Wait. There. Right there. That is a good example of what I mean. How do I apply a statement like that to my everyday life? Does that mean that I cannot swat a mosquito? There are no cans or cannots here. There are no shoulds or shouldn'ts. You may do as you wish. Every decision is a statement of who you are. Well, who I am is a person who does not want a mosquito bite. Fine. Then do what it takes to experience yourself as that. It is simple, you see. But if I am one with everything, am I not killing a part of myself when I swat the mosquito? Nothing dies, but only changes form. Yet let us use your definitions for the moment, for the purposes of this discussion. Yes, by your definition. You are killing a part of yourself when you swat the mosquito. You are doing the same thing when you cut down a tree. Or pick a flower. Or slaughter a cow and eat it. Then I can't touch anything. I have to leave everything exactly the way it is. If termites are destroying my house, I have to just move out and give them the house, because, after all, I don't want to murder them. How far do you take this? That is a good question. How far do you take this? Does the fact that you don't kill people mean that you don't kill termites? Conversely, does the fact that you kill termites mean that it is okay to kill people? No, of course not. Well, then, there you have it. You have answered your own question. Yes, because I have used a rent value system. It's not the one you are suggesting here. I'm not saying that we are all one. I'm saying that people and termites are not one, nor are people and trees. And so, having made that distinction, I am treating them differently. Under your value system, I could not do that. Of course you could. Remember, I have said you are all one, but I have not said you are all the same. Is your hair the same as your heart? I beg your pardon. Because you cut your hair off, does that mean you will cut your heart out? I see what you're saying. Do you? Do you, really? Because many human beings act as if they don't. They treat everyone and everything as if it were the same. They treat human life as if it were worth nothing more than the life of a mosquito. A termite. If they see that it is okay to cut their hair off, they cut their heart out. They bite their nose to spite their face. Not many people act like that. I tell you this, every one of you has acted like that, in one way or another. Every one of you has acted indiscriminately, treating one thing as if it were the same as another, even treating one person as if he or she were another. You walk down the street and see a white person and think that she is the same as you imagine all white people to be. You walk down the street and see a black person and think he is the same as you imagine all black people to be. In this you make two mistakes. You have stereotyped whites and blacks, Jews and Gentiles, men and women, Russians and Americans, Serbs and Albanians, bosses and workers, even blondes and brunettes, and you will not stop stereotyping, because to stop stereotyping means that you will have to stop identifying your treatment of each other. Okay, so where are we with all this? How do I treat everyone and everything as if it were a part of me? What if I decide that someone, or some group, is a cancer on my body? Do I not cut it out? Is that not what we call ethnic cleansing? The wiping out, or the displacement, of a whole people. Indeed, you have made such decisions. Yes, about the Albanians in Kosovo. About the Jews in Germany. I was thinking more about the native peoples of America. Oh. Oh, indeed. Wiping out a people is wiping out a people, whether at Auschwitz or at Wounded Knee, as you have observed before. As I have observed before. Yet if we are all part of the same body, what if I decide that something or someone is a cancer? How do I deal with that? That's what I am asking here. You might attempt to heal the cancer. How do I do that? You could try love. But some things and some people don't respond to love. Sometimes healing a cancer means killing it, getting it out of the body. It is the body we are trying to heal, not the cancer. What if the body doesn't need healing? What? Always you are justifying cruelty to others, even the killing of others, as a means of surviving yourself. Yet this takes us back to another question, another issue. I spoke before about the second most dangerous idea human beings hold. Now, let's close the circle here. What do you imagine will happen to you if you do not get rid of this cancer you are talking about? I will die. And so to avoid dying, you cut the cancer out. It is a matter of survival. Exactly. And that is the same reason that people kill other people, wipe out whole groups of other people, displace entire populations and ethnic minorities. They think that they must do so, that it is a matter of their very survival. Yes. Yet I tell you this, there is nothing that you have to do to survive. Your survival is guaranteed. You always have been, are now, and always will be, world without end. Your survival is a fact, not a hope. A reality, not a promise. Therefore, everything you have been doing in order to survive has been unnecessary. You have been creating a living hell for yourself in order to avoid the hell that you imagine that you will avoid by creating the hell that you are creating. You are talking about one form of surviving, eternal life, and I am talking about another form, who we are right now, right here. What if we like who we are right here, right now, and we don't want to see anything or anybody change that? You do not know who you really are, right here, right now. If you did, you would never do the things you do. You would never have to. But you aren't addressing the issue. What if we happen to like who we are right here, right now, and don't want to see anything or anybody change that? Then you would not be who you really are. You would only be who you think you are, here and now. And you would be attempting the impossible, which is to always remain who you think you are. This you cannot do. I don't get it. You've lost me. Who you are is life. You are life itself. And what is life? It is a process. And what is that process? It is evolution, or what you would call change. Everything in life changes. Everything. Life is change. That is what life is. When you put an end to change, you put an end to life. Yet that you cannot do. And so you create a living hell, trying to do something you cannot do, efforting and straining to remain unchanged, when who you are is change itself. You are that which changes. But some things change for the better, and some things change for the worse. All I am doing is trying to stop the changes for the worse. There is no such thing as better or worse. You just made that all up. You decide what to call better and what to call worse. Okay, but what if I call it better to stay alive in my present physical form than to die? I call that a change for the worse. Surely you are not saying that if I do have cancer in my body I should do nothing, because life is eternal, and if my life in this body ends because of my inaction. So what? Surely you're not saying that, are you? I am saying that every act is an act of self-definition. That is all you are doing here. You are defining and creating, expressing and experiencing, who you think you are. In short, you are evolving. How you evolve is your choice. That you evolve is not. If you are a being who chooses to cut out a cancer within you in order to preserve your larger life form, then you will demonstrate that. If you are a being who sees others of your species as a cancer because they are different from you, or disagree with you, you will demonstrate that. Indeed, many of you already have demonstrated that. I am going to now invite you to see life in an entirely new way. I am going to invite you to view life as nothing more than a continuing process of change. Think of it this way: everything is changing, all of the time. That includes you. You are both the changer and the changed. That is because, even as you are changing, you are causing the change in yourself and in the world around you. When you arise in the morning, I invite you to think of one thing. What is going to change today? Not. Will there be a change today? That is a given. But what is that change going to be? And what part will you play in creating that change, in being the conscious cause of it? Every second of every minute of every hour of every day you are making decisions. These choices are about what will change, and how. They are about nothing else. Even a choice as simple as combing your hair. Let's use that, because it's an easy one. You imagine that you are combing your hair the same way every day, and so you are changing nothing at all. Yet the very act of combing it is an act of change. You go to the mirror and look at your hair just after you wake up, and you say, "Ugh. It's a mess. You can't go out like that. You've got to change it. You've got to change the way you look." So you wash your face, comb your hair, get ready for the day. All the while, you are making decisions. Now some of these are decisions to change things back, the way they were. And so you create the illusion of keeping things the way they are. Yet you are simply recreating yourself anew, in the grandest version of the greatest vision ever you held about who you are. All of life is a process of recreation. This is God's greatest joy. This is God's recreation. Now the implications this has on your life are phenomenal. When you think about it, this is an extraordinary revelation. You are doing nothing but changing. You are doing nothing but evolving. How you are changing is up to you. What you are evolving into is up to you. Yet the fact that you are is not something that is open to question. It is a given. That is just what is going on. That is what life is. It is what God is. It is what you are. Life, God, you equals that which changes. But you still haven't resolved the dilemma. If I am one with everything, what about swatting the mosquito? What kind of change do you choose to create in that part of yourself that you call the mosquito? That is the question you are asking. And that is the implication of the "we are all one" wisdom. You are changing the part of the all that you call the mosquito. You cannot kill the mosquito, do you see? Life is eternal, you cannot end it. You do have the power to change your form. As in your popular science fiction entertainments, you might call yourself a shape-shifter. Yet know this, all of consciousness acts together. In the highest sense, it is impossible for one of you to have dominion or control over another. Every aspect of divinity has co-creative control over its destiny. Therefore, you cannot kill a mosquito against its will. At some level, the mosquito has chosen that. All of the change in the universe occurs with the consent of the universe itself. In its various forms. The universe cannot disagree with itself. That is impossible. This is dangerous talk. This is a dangerous teaching. People could use this to say, well, then I can do anything to anyone I want, since they've given me their permission. After all, they're co-creating it with me. It would be behavioral anarchy. You already have that. Life is what you call behavioral anarchy, do you not see? You are all doing what you want, when you want, how you want, and I am not stopping you. Are you not seeing that? The human race has done what it has called hideous things, and it has done them over and over again, and God is not stopping it from doing so. Have you not ever wondered why? Of course I have. We all have. We have cried out in our hearts, God, why are you allowing this? Of course we have asked. Well, do you not want the answer? Of course I want the answer. Good, because I have just given it to you. If that's true, I'm going to have to think about this. If that's true, it feels as though there is now nothing in place to stop us from doing incredible damage to each other. All under the guise of simply believing that everything in the universe agrees with what we are doing. I am just deeply troubled by that. I don't know how to deal with it. The doctrine of right and wrong, of crime and punishment, good and evil, everlasting reward and everlasting damnation, all those things which control us, all those things which give hope to the oppressed, all of them are wiped out by this message. If we don't have a new message to replace it, I'm afraid for the human race, and the new depths of depravity to which it could go. But you do have a new message. It is, at last, the truth. And this message is the only message that can save the world. The old message has not done that. Do you not see this? Is this not clear to you? The old message, which you say has given humanity hope, has brought you none of the results you've hoped for. That old message of right and wrong, crime and punishment, good and evil, everlasting rewarding and everlasting damnation, has done nothing to end the suffering on your planet, to end the killing on your planet, to end the torture that you are inflicting upon yourselves. And that is because it is a message of separation. There is only one message that can change the course of human history forever, end the torture, and bring you back to God. That message is the new gospel, we are all one. From this new gospel emerges a new message of total responsibility, telling you that you are totally responsible for what you are choosing, that you are choosing it all together, and that the only way to change your choices is to change them all together. You will not end the torture of yourselves so long as you imagine yourselves to be merely torturing another. You will only end the torture when you are clear that you are, in fact, torturing yourself. This you can only see when you understand, completely, that it is impossible to do anything against the will of another. Only in that moment of clarity can you glimpse what you would have thought to be an impossible truth. You are doing all of this to yourselves. And this truth you cannot see unless you understand, embrace, and live the new gospel. We are all one. Therefore, of course you cannot do anything to another that has not at some level been co-created with you. That would be possible only if we are not all one. Yet, we are all one. There is only one of us. We are creating this reality together. Do you understand the implications of this? Do you see its awesome impact? Go now, therefore, and teach ye all nations. Teach that what you do for another, you do for yourself, and what you fail to do for another, you fail to do for yourself. Do unto others as you would have it done unto you, because it is being done unto you. That is the golden rule. And now you understand it, completely.